This is a walkthrough of the February 2024 Road to Las Vegas case Sommelier. And for this one, we have a sheet with customers and wine preferences, and it'll be best to turn this into a table. If I just hit Control T, it's going to go up and take that top row, and then that's going to it's going to mess up my header. So I want to just choose the header row, and then I can make that table and change the name to cust. And same thing with wines. Choose it, Control T to make the table, and give it a name like wine. With just that, we can do the first one of the bonus questions. Across both customers and wines, one attribute which appears the most. Since they're all numbers, that would be a mode. That's your junior high statistics coming in. And then you can do wine and cust, and that one's done. Okay, then next, we're going to want to take wine and look up an attribute, and then later take a customer and look up an attribute. So that would be an index function, where the array would be the wine table, and your row number, you want to match the wine name against the wine names. So again, using the table lets you reference that a little bit easier, make it an exact match. And then for the column, we want to match the attribute across the headers. So a square bracket and then pound sign headers. So notice you can bring up all data headers or totals and match exactly. So you get the 72, which is that answer. Okay, I'm going to want to do this a lot, so I want to build a function that will do this for me. Custom function, which I do by starting with lambda, and then give names to the things that you're going to input. So I'm going to input a wine name and an attribute. So I'll just do WN for wine, and ATT for attribute. And then the calculation is this index again. So the array, I have to call it what I called it here. Excuse me. The array is going to be, I'm going to look it up in the wine table. And then the row number is that I will match my lookup value, my wine name that I choose, in the wine name column, match exactly. And then for the the column number, I want to look up the attribute right there in the wine headers and match that exactly. Okay, if I just enter that now, it's going to give me a calculation error because I told it I was going to supply some parameters and I didn't. So if you want to test your function, then at the end you need to do open parentheses and then supply a wine name and supply an attribute, close parentheses, and then you can see that it works. Now to save it, you don't want the input values. Instead, select the formula, copy it, and then escape out of your cell. Go up to your Formula tab, Name Manager, do a new, give it a name. I'll call this wine at, and then it refers to, paste in that lambda function. Now I should be able to say wine at. So see, now I've got my table with wine, and I've also got a function called wine at. And for the wine and the attribute. So with that created, I can say call up wine at on this entire column for the wine names and the attributes, and then they're all done. Okay, now I want to do a similar thing, but for the customer. So let me see if I've still got this saved. I do. So this lambda function, but I want to change the customer. I don't want it to match anything else. Let's just call it name. And I will now index the customer table and match the name that was input against not the wine names, but in the customer table, customer names. And then match your attribute against the customer table headers. Let's just check it, make sure we did it right. Layla, and the attribute, there it is. 96 is correct. Okay, so once again, when I go to save it, you don't want to send it the input. Just copy your formula, escape out of the cell, come up to Name Manager, make a new name. I'll call this Cus App and paste it in. Let's try it. So Cust at, so it's recognizing the name, it's bringing it up in IntelliSense. I input the name and the attribute. I got 96, and then I can do wine attribute, input the wine and which attribute. Once I've got that, I can find the absolute value of the difference between those two and get the correct score of 19. So let's copy that, we can paste it down and copy our answers and paste them as values, and that's done. The wine will be the one with the smallest absolute value difference between the customer and the wine for the given attribute. And I now want to do a single customer, but against every possible wine. So I'm going to open up a new worksheet. And this would be, I'm on example 3. And X look up that in the case tab. It's in the B column, and return from the case tab. Okay, I want to see what the answer is. I think that's in column E, I believe. And all possible data goes through H. Yes. Okay, so here's my answer against those two. Okay, so I'm going to take my, I'm going to have my customer name. This is just looking ahead, and eventually I'm going to have a wine name here, but for now, I just need to find a customer attribute for Edwin for this attribute of sweetness. And then I want to compare that against every possible wine. So I'm going to bring in, I want to bring in the wine, all the wine names. And then I'll do a wine hat for all of those wines matched against the attribute we were given. And then find the absolute value of difference between that vector and the score per Edwin. And then the best one would be if I look up, let's do it right here. Look up, since it was absolute values, I'm looking for the lowest positive number. So look up a 0 in this array of scores. When you find that, bring back the wine name, but you're not going to find a 0. So look for a 0 or the next larger item. And that gave me the correct answer. Okay, then make a data table. Example 3, that should end on 60. So let me take 20 rows starting at 41 and do a data table for that. And set my formulas to calculate automatically. There we go. Those should be, paste the values, those are the wines. Okay, now what's the sum of the absolute value differences across all attributes between the given customer and wine pairing? Okay, if I go back to my sheet, instead of taking just the sweetness, let's bring in all of the values. Oops. Right here. I'm going to bring in the wine attributes because the wine headers, excuse me, because the wine had that extra one that was the price. And now acidity is still okay. We take this and have it be test that for customer across all of those. There we go. Let me update. I'm on example 4. So I want to take Trista and compare her to just this one wine. And then I want to bring in the wine attributes across all of those headers. Remember to put in the name. There we go. Okay, and then the score will be, I'm going to take the absolute value of the difference between that vector and this vector. And then sum it all up. And I'll put it right here. 161, that matches. So let me open up some more rows. And take this and add 20 onto it and then do a data table. For cell A1, okay, and these should be my answers. Put those in, pasting as values again. Okay, level 5. Level 5, best wine is the one with the smallest sum of absolute value differences across all attributes between the customer and every wine. So Santiago across every possible wine, which one would be the best? It says level 5. So compare Santiago, and there are his preferences across all of the wines. So here I'll take wine at and do every possible wine across all of that, all of these headers. And I'm going to bring in the price also. And then, we want to take the absolute value of the difference between these 5 numbers, lock that reference, subtract those 5 numbers, and copy that down. So Control C, go down to the end, come back up and paste. There we go. And then I can find a sum. Just for those 5 numbers right there. Copy that down. I want to highlight these because those are my prices and I don't want to get that mixed up. And then the best wine would be, what's that? Get rid of that. Insert some columns. About ready for the data table again. So take these and add 20. I want to find the minimum score on this sum. So that will be look up a 0 in this list of numbers and return from the ones. You won't find it, so take the next highest. And I got the right number. Okay, so data table now. And these should be my answers. Okay, now that's for level 5, and I think there was a bonus question that went to level 5. If you were to apply level 5 rules against all customers, there's one that would be the best. Which one is it? Let's do that now. So let's open up a little bit of space. And I want every single customer And then I want to take a level 5 answer. I want to do a data table, but this time I want my column input cells to go into my name spot right there. Okay, so now I've got the best wine for each person, and then this again. Let's get a list of unique wines in there. And then I want to look at my list of wines. Lock it contains that one. Write it down. And let's find the highest number. Highest number, there's a 7, 4. Okay. So the highest looks like this one. Correct. Okay. Now for level, what are we on? Level 6. Total score for the given customer and wine pairing. So now we've got this table that we're going to bring in. All right, let's go to our sheet, and it's getting a little bit messy here. I want to take all of this and put it into a new sheet. Okay, we'll start with example 6. And then I've got a table that I want to bring in, this one. Good. Total score, sum of the score for each attribute. So one customer, one wine. Look up the score attribute by attribute across this table. Okay. Then wine is brought in. Here they are. There's the scores. Nice. Okay. Then I want to look up. Okay. Insert some rows. Look up those values in against the minimum. What happened there? Are you serious? Okay. I'll just look up this against the minimums and return from the scoring. And you're not going to find it, but since we're going against the minimum, it would be that or lower. So if I'm looking for a 28, I'm not going to find a 28, so match it against the 25. And then sum all of that. Okay, I'm on level 6, should end at 120. So let's do a sequence of 20 rows, starting at 101. Looks good. Have it be this score, which matches the score up here. And do a data table. Putting it in cell A1. Down. And paste the values. Yay, okay. Level 7, lowest total score for the best wine. So given just the person, bring back the best wine, looking at scores, and the score could now be negative. Okay, sample 7. So I don't have a wine, but I could put this list of wines all in there and do this with it. Better just do it again. So these are those are my attributes, right? Yeah, okay, so I can look up those 5 numbers against those and return a score for each, looking for the next lower, and then do a sum. That is sum. 70, there we go. Okay, the best wine, move these guys over, is the one where you look up the smallest value, and now it could be negative. So let's look for negative 300 in this array and return from the list of wines. Go next larger. And I got the right wine. Okay, so data table, that plus 20. Ticket, data, what if, table, put it in A1, copy it, and paste it in. Level 8, there will be a best wine, the one with the lowest adjusted price, the wine priced plus 5 times the total score. So for Robin, what would I get? Okay, let's look for example 8. Robin, across all wines, there's the sum. So let's do adjusted would be 5 times the score plus the wine price, which is this one. And do that all at once, equals 5 times the score plus the wine price. And then look up the lowest one again, which could be a negative. So negative 300, hope will be enough in your adjusted score. Bring back from the wine list. And go for the next higher. D-bar, got it. Okay, so equals, add 20 onto that, and put it in a data table. Copy. Paste as values. There we go. Yes. Okay. Now, 2 bonus questions left. 3 bonus questions left. Using the level 8 approach, what's the most expensive adjusted price across all possible customers and wines? So I can find the most. Oh, okay, I can do this. For each customer, I can find what their price is. So, and I did that right here. So let's do equals the max of this column would be the highest adjusted price for Robin Mayfield. But then if I bring in every possible customer, and I do a data table, where I put those customer names in that spot. And for each customer, I should have their score, and then I could just look up the largest number in there. 997. How many customers are not listed at all on levels 2 through 5, excluding the examples? Okay, let's get levels 2 through 5. I want all of these customers. So that would be a sequence that starts at 21 and goes to 100, so 80. Starting at 21, and look up those numbers in that array. Column G. Oh, in column B. Look it up in column B and return from column G. Did I get all of them from 2 through 5? Level 5 ends at 100, yes. Okay, so there they all are. Let's find the unique ones. And there are 56. So the answer should be 100 total customers, take away 56. An Excel Sommelier, games 127 to 140. Take the first letter, add it to the game number. Okay. New sheet. 127, 128 until I get to 140. And then look that up. Case where the answers go in column B, I think. Oh, but look it up in column B and then return in column E. Okay, and then take the left of that. Let's make it lower while we're at it. Lower left of all that text, one character. And then I need to know where this starts. So find the code of a lowercase a, 97. So I want to take whatever code these are, code of those, and subtract 96. So that an A turns out to be a 1. Okay, and then I want to add those to the game numbers. But then I want to mod. So and just the remainder, take all of these numbers, divide them by 26 letters in the alphabet. And then when you have that, again, find the character that goes with those codes. Oh, except I need to take these codes and add the 96 back. There we go. And now take the character that goes with those codes. And concat.